What's going on? Hello. I hope you guys having a wonderful morning, and we're gonna be introducing something new we call Chello bites. It's like it's like a cello, it's like a little nibble. So we're gonna be doing that today. So I definitely want to welcome you guys to Coffee with Chello. And before we go any further, I want to let you know that all expressions are solely my own and do not express the opinions of my organization. The reason why I bring that up is that I work for the second largest waste company in the nation. And if we haven't met, hey, my name is Marcello Arcele. Nice to meet you. I provide recycling and waste services for companies from small to large organizations here in Metro Atlanta. So if you know someone that needs help to get better service, a better rate, or just implementing some solutions to ensure that they hit their sustainability goals, I'm your guy. So I definitely want to let you guys know that. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. Before I go any further, I want to let you guys know that this stream is actually brought to you by Restream.io. So I definitely want you guys recommend to check them out if you are looking to set up a live stream, or you're looking at different options, either the website version or a browser version like what we're using today, or set it up on your computer. Definitely give Restream a look. You could definitely follow them on Twitter, which is at Restream.io. They actually work companies now that I like how the service works. So it's definitely a good opportunity. So give the guys a shot. Restream.io, Restream.io, and I'll put a link to my connection. So if you guys choose that link, you get a discount towards signing up, and also, you show me a little bit of love. So I want to thank you very much for that. Before we move forward, I want to ask you guys, if you're watching us live, let me know in the comments. Put hashtag Team Live or hashtag Team Replay. Let me know what time you guys watching. Also, hey, what's going on, family? I love you guys, and definitely don't be shy. Join in the conversation. Share your comments. If you hear something you like, don't be shy. Just give us a thumbs up and share your love on that. And lastly, let me know what part of the world you're watching me from. If you're watching me from New York City, Atlanta, and my favorite place, Bangladesh, let me know. Put it in the comments as well. I appreciate the love. So we're going to get back to our personal branding series. I know we've got a lot of feedback on that, and so much so that I had to make a new series called Chello Bites. So maybe I probably have to put like an emoji like Chello. So we got my dude in the house right now. We got I see him over there laughing. What's going on, John? Welcome to Coffee with Chello, episode 22.
Hey, man. Thanks for bringing me on.
I know it was kind of hard. It's like, what the heck is going on with this guy? It's too early to be drinking. No, trust me. I'm far from that. Let me see what we got here.
I'm hearing the music, Cello. It seems pretty loud.
You hear the music? I thought I turned it off already. Let me see. Hold on a second. You still hear the music on your?
No, it's gone now.
Okay. All right. Let me see here. My wife just said.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. Welcome.
Yeah. I'm sorry. My wife just sent me. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. All right. No, my wife is asking me if I want a breakfast. I am sorry for the distraction. So sorry about that. Yeah. So mind you, just like everybody is watching right now, they wonder what we're going to talk about. I know it's going to be personal branding, but tell me exactly what topic we want to talk about, and we're going to focus on one specific topic.
Yep.
And let me know what that's going to be for today.
Yeah, we're going to make this short and sweet, since that seems to be something that we struggle to do, Cello.
Mm-hmm.
Also, notice with the Cello bite, sounds like Jello bites, so it's actually kind of, I don't know, was that intentional, or is that...
No, I guess it might be. I like Cello bites because my name is Cello, and bite size because it's going to be a shorter version. But I get what you're saying.
We need to start flavoring them. Yeah. So today I wanted to talk about why giving away things for free is probably one of the best things you could possibly be doing for growing your business. I actually just put a post up today on LinkedIn. Anybody watching, if you want to go check it out, it's on why it's dumb to call people sales hunters. You know, like the concept of saying that a salesperson is a hunter. And it's probably been like maybe 18 months or so that I've really had that perspective. But I was a hunter when I first got out of college and started being a sales guy, and people use that language. And what I just think is so interesting is that there's all these salespeople who complain constantly about, and marketing people, but really anybody, they complain constantly about the fact that nobody's listening to them, and all their conversations are hard to get started. And every time they reach out to somebody, people think they're trying to take something from them. And I'm like, well, maybe when they see that you call yourself a hunter, it makes them feel a little bit less than safe, talking to you. Hey, Chello, did I lose you there? Oh,
No. Right here. I was actually putting in my order for a toasted. This is what it is. In my family, we call it a Mother's Day special. All right, and sorry for the distraction, for the tangent.
No,
so what
go
it
ahead.
is that years ago, on a Mother's Day, my wife was, just a little bit exhausted or whatever admitted. She just wasn't in the mood to do anything. That's what I remember. It could be something else. But I said, babe, what do you want me to do for you? And I could put make some sunny side eggs, toast some bread for you, a few slices of bread, give you some jelly, and I call it Mother's Day special. So ever since then, whenever we want something quick and we already know what the Mother's Day special is, she says, hey, I'm about to make some breakfast. Do you want the Mother's Day special? So all right. So there you go. So
That's cool.
that clears the air why I was distracted.
No, I just,
but yeah,
when the screen went white, I didn't see you. That's why I was asking. I didn't know what happened there.
No.
Yeah. So what I was talking about is just, I feel like the sales industry has done an absolutely horrendous job in probably the last 30 years of creating an environment where prospects, which even that word I think is stupid, but prospects feel like they're being chased down, and then salespeople wonder why they feel that way. And it's like, well, maybe because you said you're a sales hunter, and then you call the other people farmers, right? So maybe human beings don't like getting compared to wild animals and crops, right? Maybe they don't like to be told that they're getting farmed and hunted. Maybe that has some negative connotations that I wouldn't want to hear about, right? And the reality is that it's the only reason that sales even functions today at all is because there's enough boomers and Gen Xers left in the workforce to keep it alive. Yeah. It's the honest to God truth. By 2025, 50% of the workforce is going to be millennials, right?
And I see it. I see it even in my company. And what I mean by that, I see the culture shift, and not necessarily when I'm talking about the people they hire, I'm thinking about the practices and the behaviors that are being implemented or changing. So I could definitely, I echo your sentiment on that.
And think about why that is, Chello, right? So you've worked in a corporate machine for a while, right? I mean, Republic is a corporate entity, right? So they probably have all the best and the worst of what corporate America is, right? There's good things about corporations and bad things. What is the only reason why corporations make changes, especially broad sweeping changes to policy? What's the only reason? Well, I mean, to my way of thinking.
My experience is that either they are reactive. That's been my experience. Very rarely, and I'm not talking about republics specifically, but historically in my career, my sales career, organizations that I've worked with, the changes that they do broadly usually is reactive. Yeah. Very rarely they do something proactive.
Exactly.
In my experience.
And I'm not trying to be like cryptic, but there's also one specific reason why there's one specific thing they are reacting to, and that is almost universally bottom line. It just is what it is, right? So when a company is reacting, well, what are they reacting to? If it's not affecting their bottom line, they're not reacting to it. Why? Because they don't need to yet. Right? So what is the fact that you have massive corporations that are now, and I'm just laying the groundwork, I'm just helping people think through this process, because there are modern day sales gurus right now who are putting out books. They're acclaimed sales guys. They're putting out books and constantly talking about it. And they use words like sales hunter. And what I think is interesting is that in 5 years, those people are going to be so irrelevant. And yet you have massive just swaths of the sales industry right now just blindly following these people. And so what I'm trying to point out here is that when you have a giant corporation like Republic or whoever, my brother works for Cummins, where they're starting to make sweeping changes inside of their organization that reflect the things I'm talking about, that, you know, sales tactics can't be what they were, that internal policies can't be what they were. What does that say? It says that the money is finally an issue. It says that it's finally not working anymore, right? It's a lagging indicator, right? The leading indicator is something like, you know, the fact that, like, here, like, think about it this way, right? When I got into sales, the cold call to conversion ratio was, I don't know, like 200 to 1, right? Like, you know, it had moved from, you know, 100, you know, you make 100 calls, you have 10 conversations, you set one meeting, right? When I started, it was already moving into 150, 175. By the time I basically got out of sales like a year and a half ago, it was around 200 to 300 calls to an appointment. Now, there's people who will listen to that and go, that's not what my experience is. That's fine. If you are working with Discover.org and Zoom Info and Outreach.io and a million different sales tools, fine. But show me the small business that has the money to spend on that. They don't. So just leave that off the freaking table. I'm tired of that conversation. So the point is, it's not work. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Especially if you're a small business, you can't make 300 dials to set one meeting. It's ridiculous. Okay, so what I'm saying is that's a leading indicator. So I was telling people a year and a half ago, hey, you really should stop doing this thing and stop thinking this way and start looking for a new way to do it. I'm saying that now, when a corporation starts to act that way, what that tells us is we now have a lagging indicator, which is a way more important indicator, because that means that they're actually feeling the effects of the leading indicator, right? They're finally seeing our revenue is dropping. Why? Because our sales techniques aren't working. Okay. I'm just laying the groundwork here.
No, I mean, what you're saying makes perfect sense. I'm thinking about the changes that I've seen in different organizations, and even organizations of friends of mine that they work in, and they tell me the changes that they're going through, or even the acquisitions that they're a part of, and how things just drastically change. And either they're not sure if, let's say, talking about acquisition, they're not sure if the existing culture is going to be sustainable, or they have to adapt a whole new culture, which then ultimately, then what happens is the people that have been there before, you know, this is what you're going to hear. This is not how we used to do it.
Right.
Guess what? This is how we're going to do it going forward.
Right.
So either you like it or get the step in.
Yep. And that's what's going to happen, right? So, I mean, unfortunately, it's kind of going to happen naturally because the workforce is changing so rapidly that it's kind of just happening on its own. And that's the only reason I care, is that in 5 years, most of the decision makers are going to be millennials, most of them. And it's like, if you don't know how to talk to these people, if you don't know how to approach them and build relationships on their terms, you're going to completely fail. And I can guarantee you, like, you know, that's what I put in my post. I was like, you know, if you want to start a business relationship with me, the worst thing you can possibly do is hunt me. It's just the worst thing you can possibly do. If you think of me as your target and you're a hunter, you will never start a conversation with me. It just won't happen.
I think about when it comes down to my approach on selling, and what I mean by that, I that's the word that I use that anyone can relate to. But when it comes down to just cultivating relationships, I find out where I could provide service, what pain point or what service I could provide. And then I get to learn their industry, so much so that I'll, you know, this is pretty basic, but I'll create Google alerts on different industries or even the company itself. And occasionally I'll browse through those Google alerts, and keyword is occasion, because I don't do that every single day. I'd love to. And then if I see something that stands out, I'm like, oh, I see that Chick-fil-A is doing this. Interesting.
Right.
Okay. Now I can actually follow up with the people that my existing Chick-fil-A clients and the other franchise owners that I'm working on their proposals to provide services at their franchises that they operate and own. I can send them this piece of literature like, hey, I saw that Chick-fil-A is doing this. Or if I see something that makes sense in the industry, I'll forward that to them, and then I'll tell them my insight on the article. Then we could start a conversation on that. And hopefully that brings me back top of mind. So
Right.
when the opportunity comes for me to say, "Hey, are you ready to sign on a contract for for the trial services?" It's a little bit easier transition rather than, "Hey, you ready?"
And it's been 2 months. I haven't heard from you. No, you haven't. I'm busy.
Exactly. So that's the key thing, is that finding a way to stay top of mind, and LinkedIn, like this right here, what we're doing right now. People that I'm connected with, either these are existing clients of mine or people that I'm currently working with on their existing or their future program. And guess what? This conversation is going to show up in their stream. This is a way that I feel that this is an organic way that I follow up, so they can see the stuff that I talk about. They can see that I'm not the typical salesperson. They can see I actually do care
Right.
about our relationship, and then that just continues to strengthening our bond and provides more social proof.
100%. 100%. So that brings us to the thing that then is the real point here, which is that you need to start giving things away for free. Now, this isn't really, for a salesperson, this is more difficult, but it's not impossible, right? And it's always been true that the top sales performers are the people who go out and beyond, right? It's not about working 80-hour weeks. It's about what are you willing to do that other people aren't willing to do. And if you're willing to, buck the trend a little bit, and instead of spending 4 hours making cold calls, you spend some time creating content, and you things like what you do, right? Just reprioritize. You can, as a frontline sales guy, you can do some of this stuff anyway. But if you're in small business, right? If you're a sole proprietor or you're somebody on LinkedIn trying to grow your business, the best possible thing that you can start doing is give things away for free. And I don't mean handouts, okay? I mean work. And I know this sounds kind of funny, okay? People are going to be like, what? I basically...
No, repeat that again. You broke up.
I don't mean giving away like handouts and stuff. I mean like doing work for free, like do things for free for people. Okay. I made a LinkedIn post a few weeks ago. I put an example of, imagine if you're a mechanic shop and when somebody came in to get their car fixed and they asked you like, hey, I don't know what's wrong with it. So here's the car. And let's say that during the course of looking through it, you found one or two little things that are just tiny things, right? And maybe it would have been 20 minutes of your time if you'd done it whenever, after they paid for it or whatever, or after they told you they wanted the work done, but you just go ahead and tighten down whatever screw or whatever, just whatever. You find something, it's not parts, it's labor related, you just fix a couple little things, or you give them a free oil change, whatever it is. When they come back in, or you give them a phone call and you're like, hey, here's what's wrong, there's this, and this, but I already fixed these two and that's no charge. So really it's just these two and it'll be this much, right? Imagine if you did that. Imagine how many people would come back to your shop, right? This stuff, it's not rocket science, but it seems like it is, because you have these people that are just constantly laying these fantastical visions of the perfect sales cadence and the follow-up and the persistence and it's insane to me. I had a guy last week who may even see the show. He's a guy I connected with on LinkedIn. So here, let me explain to you like my world, like what it is that I'm trying to help people understand, right? I've been creating content on LinkedIn for probably 4 months. Marcello gets it, right? You totally get it. But let me just explain this like end to end, like big picture. I've been creating content on LinkedIn for probably 5 or 6 months now. And it's only just now starting to actually like turn into stuff, right? So there's that quality, just you gotta be disciplined and you gotta just keep doing it. But last week or the week before, all I did was commented on someone's post that I thought was funny, and I said something. I thought it was a funny post. I thought it was relevant and profound, so I commented something on it. Well, somebody else saw my comment, liked what my comment was, so they looked at my profile, went from my profile to my website, read a bunch of my stuff on my website, and then messaged me on LinkedIn saying, I want to talk about your services. So we have a call, and he's like, what he wanted from me wasn't really what I do, but we continue to have such a good conversation that he was like, well, I still also need what you do. And then we had more of a conversation. And so I just said, look, let me just come up with some stuff that I think I can help you with. And so I sent him over like an example of our work. And he was like, well, I don't know if that's really relevant to what we do. And I said, okay, what's top of mind for you right now? Like, what are you worried about? Like, what do you need done right now? And he goes, well, I need to write an article on LinkedIn that's kind of explaining what this is. And I was like, okay, I'll write that for you. Shoot me over the information, like shoot me over your outline and your data, and I'll write the article for you. Well, that turns into an hour-long conversation we have, where it turns out the article isn't actually what he needs. What he really needs is some other stuff that would be better. So we're talking through that. And meanwhile, all of this, I'm just prepared to do like basically probably 4 or 5 hours of work for this guy for free. Well, we get like halfway through the conversation, and he's like, "I can't let you do this for me for free, so I need to buy from you." Okay, like it doesn't matter though.
But see, what happens is that you saw value in that interaction that you could justify to give the things for free. And what I mean by value, not necessarily, I want to qualify what I'm saying. I don't say that you see dollar signs. I'm saying that you see that this partnership is mutually beneficial.
Yes, I mean, this is a person who I really liked the guy, which is huge. It's huge. Like, this is the whole thing, right? It's business is personal in every single possible way. I don't work with people I don't like, right? So I'm much more likely to give something away for free to somebody that I like than to do paid work for somebody I don't like, right? Just think about it. Like, I'm being serious when I say that. I would rather do free work for someone I like than get paid to do work for someone I don't like. And so you have to, it's a mindset shift, guys. Most of the people you deal with on LinkedIn and the business world, they have been brainwashed for the last 30 years to look at business in this ridiculous adversarial way where it's I'm trying to get something from someone and they're trying to get something from me, and it's all about what's in it for me, right? And I'm supposed to think about the fact that what's in it for them. And why don't you just try being a person? Why don't you just try doing things for people, right? If somebody says, "Hey, what are your thoughts on this?" You just go, "Here's my thoughts on that. And by the way, if you need help, I'll help you with it." And if they don't have money, fine. For every 10 people you help that don't have money, one does. And if you stop thinking about your time in terms of prospecting and hunting and all this dumb, useless activities, and instead just put that time into building relationships. And I know that's an overused term, so what I mean by that is just doing things for people. It's like charity. Just do things for people. Like, I don't know how else to say it, and you don't have to get like weird about it, but just do things for people. When the opportunity comes up and you can charge for something, just choose not to and see what happens.
They'll be happy to pay, like your scenario. They'll be happy to pay, and quite frankly, they're gonna find ways to pay you. Now, and unless you have something else to put a bow on this, what you're saying, at the end of the day, what happens is that these individuals or this ideal client, these individuals are happy to pay the fees that you ask for the services that you render, because why? You're already proven an overwhelming amount of value that at this point they're like, what's that emoji or not, that gift from Futurama, like, "Hey, shut up, take my money." Is that we all seeing that? So you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's one of those kind of scenarios. So it's the same scenario.
Exactly.
Hey guys, if you guys are watching it, we're doing a coffee with Chello, but we got a new version called Coffee Bites. So we'll explore a title for that down the road. My dude here, John Welch, is talking about selling and the misnomer of sales hunters and also farmers. The whole personality, the whole persona, and whole approach is archaic, and how it's going to be changing in the next few months, years. Basically, it's probably right over, and you're not even seeing it. So that's what we're talking about today.
It's changed already. It's changed already. We just have to. It's just how many people are going to keep doing it until they just fail, right? That's what. So yeah, and I mean, just
let me see.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say. I mean,
go ahead, John.
Sweet, right? Yeah. Just to wrap it up, I've shared this on the show before, but there really are two reasons why people don't buy. The first one is they don't know if you know what you're doing, and the second one, they don't know why it costs what it costs, right? So I've shared this before, but beyond just giving value, when you actually do work for someone and you show them your responsiveness, your attention to detail, or the quality that you do, how easy it is to work with you, all this stuff, and you do that without asking them for anything at all, you just shatter those two objections. They understand that you know what you're talking about, and they get to be a part of the process. So when they see the price tag, it doesn't surprise them anymore, right? When someone says, "I want a blog post," and you're like, "Okay, do you want the $800 one or the $1,500 one?" And they're like, "I wanted the $90 one." And you're like, "Yes, well, why don't you write one with me? Let's write one together for free." And then you can tell me that it's worth $90, right?
I like that.
Because
I like that.
They can't argue once they watch it take 15 hours, and you have to have 3 different phone calls with them, and then you show them all the infographics you made and all the links that you pulled in, and it's 1,800 words long. right? And they're like, okay, I didn't realize it took 15 hours to write this kind of blog post. No, it does, which is why it costs money. And my time is on a project rate, $100 an hour. So it's $1,500.
And quite frankly, that's a bargain, because you know that there's other outfits out there charging more for the same service that you offer. Service, not value.
Yes,
that's the key thing I want to focus on. Not that is, so that's the key thing I want to take away. I wanted to go into the comments and let folks just touch base on the folks that are chiming in. I didn't forget you guys. We have Brianna. She's saying, hey, thank you very much for tuning in. We got David in the house. What's going on, Dave? We got Wilhelmina in the house as well. And we got my lady, Rebecca Thornton. Thanks for the support. Danny's in the house. This is my dude, always in the house. And we got Chris Whitmire, the copier guy, the onion guy. I mean, this guy does it all. So he's here in Atlanta. So thank you very much for showing up. We got Professor Nez in the house. What's going on, Professor Nez? Thank you very much for showing up. I think it's the first time I've seen him on the live stream. Thank you very much, buddy. And see what else we got here. We got Chris. Let me see what he says. If anybody missed the chat, Chad's Awesome Green Initiative, check it out. Okay. I'm going to be having a conversation tomorrow at 2 p.m. with some folks out of Brazil. And I'm going to be talking about sustainability initiatives and different green solutions for organizations and institutions. So I appreciate you putting that there in the chat. Check-ins in the mail. Thank you very much, Chris. I got Kenya. Thank you very much for showing up. Thanks for the love. I appreciate that. And we got Michael in right now from I can't even pronounce Charleston. Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's an American
and let's see what this dude says. So I would post that the millennial equivalent role for old and agreed dated term of a sales hunter is an appointment setter.
At 100%. 100%. Yeah. Still stupid. If you read my post that I put up, I said, if you want to change the language, start calling them a helper, not a hunter.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And, I've been in scenarios, not in my current organization, that, you got appointment setters. And I tell you, those appointment setters, oh gosh, the stuff that I'm doing it myself. But that's a whole different topic. And what else we got? We got my dude Wayne is in the house. Thank you for showing up. Good morning. And we got Simon. Thank you. All the way from India. Good evening and good morning to you from Atlanta. So I wanted to give you the opportunity to share your closing thoughts and let folks know how to connect with you outside of LinkedIn.
Yeah. So, I've been doing this show for a while with Chello, so I think most of you guys know me, but the biggest thing is just, I would just say, if you're trying to grow a business, if you're trying to find new business, just basically stop thinking in terms of dollars. Stop thinking in terms of how much your time is worth. To be honest with you, I think the whole my time is worth stuff is crap. We all have the exact same amount of time on this earth. And yes, you can look at it and go, oh yeah, there's all this compounding interest. And if we spend time on this and all that, I think it's all bullcrap. I think that if you wake up every day and think, what can I do today to, make a little bit of progress in my business and to help the people that are around me, you will go farther and have a much more peaceful and enjoyable life than otherwise. So I'd say stop attaching your time to value and start attaching it to success for people. Start saying, how can 30 minutes of my time change someone's life? Is 30 minutes of your time worth $75 an hour? Or, first of all, it's not. Mine's not, but it's the only way I can quantify it so people understand what I'm talking about, right? So, but it could be worth way more than that, right? It could be the difference between someone whose business succeeds and someone whose business fails. If what you have to offer really can change someone's life, then maybe it's worth doing it for them for a month or two until they have the money to pay you. Or maybe it's worth just giving them an hour or two of your time to walk them through the process so they can do it themselves, or making them a free video, or whatever it is. It's not it's not that difficult. You just have to get out of your own head and stop thinking in terms of how much am I getting out of this? What am I making? Is it worth it to me to give this person an hour of my time? Yes, it is. It's always worth it. So that's my thought. And if you want to connect with us, John at skymousestudios.com. If you ever want to email me questions, you can connect with me. Follow me on LinkedIn as well. I try to put out a decent bit of content there. And we do our show, Humans of LinkedIn, which Chello still needs to come on. And
Yes.
yeah, other than that, jump over on our website. We have a pretty solid amount of resources and blogs on how you can do some of the stuff I'm talking about, how you can make your website better, things like that. Feel free to take advantage of those. And if you ever have any questions, just email me.
When you say that, I'm sorry, I have to add to what you said before we leave. I think that, like what you said, like the example you gave is $100 an hour. But then think about this, and I think about it in my line of business. When you go through a thorough assessment, and thorough assessment is different from person to person, industry to industry. But the fact is, once you understand what their time, meaning your client's time, is worth, then you could actually better quantify how much your service, how you are helping them to get to their goal is worth to them. And the reason why I bring that up is like an example. Let's say if you're at a meat packing company and if they're down, guess what? They can't pack any meat. and that's a lot of money. So then you have to let people go. You have probably folks sitting out there having smoking half a box of cigarettes while you fix the machine.
Right.
And that's a lot of money. So then once you could quantify that, chances are your client's value way exceeds $100. And then that's really what you need to understand when you are trying to help people. And so if they give you pushback on the services that the price that you ask them to pay, if they ever give you pushback, then you can say, I'm sorry, John, am I missing something? Do you mind if we go back to the beginning? Because I know you said that this was happening, this was going on, and if you are down, potentially it's costing you this much every single hour. Has something changed since we last chatted?
Right. Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah. 100%.
I get
100%. I agree completely.
John, thank you. I appreciate it, man. Listen, do me a favor on the replay. Put a link to the 2 articles that you mentioned, the one that you created recently and the one that I think you mentioned you did 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Put them in the articles and just put some context of what the article is about. So I appreciate folks that are watching us, they can actually get to the article and then connect to you here on LinkedIn.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, will do.
Thank you, John. I appreciate for hanging out with us today. I want to thank everyone for their patience with me putting in my order for breakfast with my wife. So thank you very much for.
Hey, we got to eat, man.
Mm-hmm. You guys have a good one. I appreciate you guys for your support, and you guys have a good one.